Hello guys, my name's Leo and today I'm going to interview Jamie here.
Hello.
And I will be asking him 4 questions about anything in this world and he will answer them with his honest opinion.
With my honest opinion, I give you that much. Yeah.
So the first one we've got is technology these days. So the first question is, how has it evolved? So how's technology evolved over the years from really early on, like say 500s.
Yeah.
And like that early on to all the way up to here.
Yeah.
How do you think this evolved?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest leap, I don't know, maybe like things, every century there's been some big invention or some like discovery that's changed things. Like I think the 19th century, I think it was the 19th century, that was when we learned how to, what do we call it? The printing press, that was it. So the printing press sort of came into action then. That allowed us to, have newspapers and to mass publish books. So we could, like in the sort of, having like a factory assembly line, we could pump out books and stuff. That was a crazy invention. But 20th century was a big one. I think that was when it all really, it started the century with aeroplanes. Unfortunately, tanks and military things shouldn't really need them, but and then we ended the Second World War with the atomic bomb and the birth of the computer. That's when it all started in World War II. And since World War II, I think the world has changed dramatically. Each decade's gone better. Television, obviously radio before World War II. But anyway, I'm babbling. But in my own personal experience, I guess, I don't know. I grew up with early mobile phones. That was a big one. I remember the first flip phone I ever had. It had a camera installed, which was cool. I remember it had video on it as well, and you could the audio was terrible, but you could record for about 30 seconds, and then if it was longer than 30 seconds, it would too much storage would be full. But yeah, early flip phones. I think in terms of technology, modern technology, I think a lot of it changed around 2007 when the iPhone came out. That's when the smartphones happened, and if you had a flip phone, you were irrelevant practically. So yeah, I don't really know if I've answered your question though, but I think it's evolved throughout the years, throughout the centuries. The past century, that was when it really, really ramped up. And in my lifetime, it's almost like we've experienced double of that in 10 years. So yeah.
Right. Question number 2, we have school. So our first question is, what was your favourite subject you liked doing at school?
Yeah. I think I felt like I should have liked art more than I actually ended up liking. I think the way it was taught I wasn't huge on, but I think my favourite was probably English or I think my favourite was probably English or citizenship. I really liked citizenship. I'm not sure if they're still heavy on that now. Obviously, I guess every school has it, right? But
I'm not sure.
Do you not have citizenship?
I haven't heard of it, no.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe they don't do it in certain schools. Either way, I'll do it again for the edit. I would say for me, probably English and citizenship, because it was interesting, Citizenship was they would make you, I don't know, they would sort of talk about politics and stuff and what impacts people, what impacts you as a person politically. Well, if, for example, if there's inflation in the economy and it drives prices up, then you might be inclined to prefer a certain style of politics, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Across the social spectrum, the poorer you get or the richer you get, there's different beliefs in those circles. Very interesting. But that was it. There was all that sort of stuff. We learnt about, just politics of different countries, wars and stuff. So there's a bit of history, a bit of political science. Enjoyed it very much. I will keep on rambling.
Okay, so our second question is, how were your friends when you went to school? Were they a good friend group? You hanging out with them? Or kind of weird?
Yeah, I think I enjoyed my time with them. Well, there's a few, I think maybe 4 or 5 or 6 friends from school that I'm still in regular contact with now. We have group chats and stuff, and we we're still friends. When we go out, we still go out as friends. It's very strange the older you get when you see the friends that you had. Like if you don't see your friends for a while and you're like my age, 26, and you haven't seen one friend for like 4 or 5 months, because that does happen as you get older. It can happen. Very interesting. You see like a wrinkle or something. You're like, oh my god, we're getting older together. It's very powerful. That doesn't answer your question, no? Yeah, they were a good group. I had some friends I wasn't that weren't the best influence maybe, but that's part of life. Yeah. Most of the friends that I had in school I'm still friends with, so I'm pleased with that, definitely. Yeah.
My friend group's alright.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't look up to them to like be like some of them. One of them's pretty good. Okay, so third question, we've got, what did you study at college?
I studied music, which I hate. The older I get, the more I look back on and go, oh, why did I study music? But I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. I was, teenager, and it was the right thing to study, really. Yeah, I've always loved music. I am a musician, so yeah, it was the right thing, I think, to study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at doing music as well, actually.
Yeah.
And computing and media.
Yeah.
So that I can get into more of the like technology stuff. I find that quite fascinating, but it's not something I'd like to do hardware-wise, like software-wise, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like actually on the computer, designing apps and other stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe even logo brands.
Yeah, I feel like, maybe. I feel like it's difficult for a lot of people your age because you're working out what comes next, and there's a whole universe of things. My advice to you would be, you can do more than one thing, which is like probably the best advice I've ever been given. I was like, oh, actually, like it's not just you study this and that is your life. You can do more than one thing. Obviously, you have to study what you study, and that will lead you down a certain path. That's the frightening thing. Sometimes it's like, if I study IT, that might eliminate these other options. But I would definitely don't feel discouraged to not study music. I had a great time with it. And if there are touring musicians out there, there are successful musicians. You're really into music then, because you do a lot.
I'm not
piano stuff,
really into it. I do like it. It's like a good extra activity I get to do. It'd be like one of the Duke of Edinburgh's part of the Duke of Edinburgh's award, which would include like me doing water polo as well.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy it. I have keyboard lessons every Monday.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great that you enjoy it. And
we're doing Dragonhearted at the moment, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My teacher asked what song we were gonna do. Sorry, I'll restart.
Do what makes you happy, basically, in terms of study. I think that's my big advice. And if people give you an alternative opinion, then they do. But that's their advice. But just carry on doing what makes you happy. Other people's advice can be useful, but you don't have to live by it, I guess. That's why I'm giving advice. It's an interview, but there you go. Advice with Jamie, the advice column.
Our third topic is about COVID. So, when COVID was around, what was it like when lockdown started for you?
I mean, probably similar to you in a way, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I mean, in terms of I was, at mine, and I heard the news from Boris, not personally, didn't tell me. But, it was very shocking at the time, but I also I don't really know how I felt. But I remember being, if anything, looking back, I was quite excited by the news because right before the lockdown happened, me and my friends, same friends I was talking about earlier on, had like rediscovered Minecraft again. And it was the perfect timing because we were 22, I think. And at that age, people are usually working or they're studying and stuff. So there's a lot of responsibilities. Not so much for me, I won't get into that, but and yeah, it was great because then a week later we all had an excuse to play and just, so for me I enjoyed it. There were a few issues, mental health problems as well with just being indoors all the time and being stuck in your brain isn't always fun and you're just constantly thinking. That wasn't great. Yeah, I don't know. What about you? How was it for you?
It was alright actually. I really liked the idea of being able to stay at home and do school instead, because I'd get to like it just feel nice to be like around my family while doing school instead of just at school. I mean, it's fun to hang out with friends, don't get me wrong, but I like doing it at home because you get to have different like meat. You could have a different meal, say for lunch. You could make something different. You have a lot of variation at home than at school because you got to like prepare everything in the morning. I mean, sure, you could set your packed lunch to these few things this day, these few things the next day, and then the next day you'd have school lunch. But what if your mum cooks up a special dish you've had before? That you really like?
It's amazing. It's a similar sort of thing in the sense that I used to have like online jobs and stuff during that period, and that was interesting, isn't it? It was interesting to sort of everything changed, but here you were in one room. You know, I think for you guys as well, sort of growing up. Because how old were you when COVID happened?
It started in 2019, so.
Well, 2020, I'd say, but.
Yeah, really.
But you would have been the age you were anyway, wouldn't you? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I think when it got to the UK, I was probably, so like 2020 when I was about 10, because I was born in 2010. I was, I can't think of it. Yeah, no, it was kind of shocking that when I heard about it, but I'd heard about it like in China, like lots of people in China must have been infected by this virus, but they weren't actually as infected as I thought they were. Because like it got there first, so probably die quicker. As in, like not the people. The virus would just go down a bit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I thought it was a similar thing.
And when it kind of got to the UK, I was a bit scared. I'm not sure, because it was a while ago now.
Yeah.
But I did like the fact you got to stay at home.
Yeah, it was cool, wasn't it? Very interesting though for your generation to grow up in that though. I think to grow up with that.
Definitely.
Cool.
So, what were your worst bits about lockdown?
Yeah, like I said, probably just being on my own in a room, sort of locked away. I enjoyed, but I guess, I don't know, when you're, how do I explain? I guess it might be better for a younger person to have that because you've got the pressures of school and stuff. The older you get, the more you're sort of like, okay, actually I need to be doing stuff because I feel like energized by work or I feel energized by whatever. Not always, but so yeah, it was a bit difficult to be away from all that after a while, but yeah.
My worst bits about lockdown was the fact that I didn't get to hang out with my friends.
Yeah. Do you have Discord and stuff? Do you talk on that?
No, I don't like Discord really.
Yeah.
I did get it at one point because my friend Isaac really wanted me to get it.
Yeah.
But so I got it, but I never really used it. We used it like once or twice for Roblox and something. That was about it.
Yeah.
Maybe something else, but I've just never used it. I don't have it installed on my phone. I had it installed on my computer. Then my computer got reset because of, I can't actually remember the reason. Maybe too much storage or something. But I ended up just not getting back onto Discord.
Yeah.
I prefer stuff like WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp's good, isn't it? WhatsApp's good. Yeah.
Another bad bit was the fact that I was stuck at home like all day, couldn't really go out.
Yeah.
And the fact that you had to wear masks, that was
wasn't it?
Really bad bit.
Yeah, it really was, looking back. Yeah, I forget all about that now, I really do. But that was a whole thing. Oh, I forgot my mask. That was always the thing, wasn't it? I forgot my mask. Better go back, yeah.
It was like a number one priority thing. Like you'd say you'd bring around your wallet every day to go to the shop and buy something. And the added one for a while would be a mask.
100%.
But you're just not used to bring a mask around, so you'd forget quite a few times until you finally got used to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Third question: when lockdown was, a thing, how would you get your resources? Would your parents shop online? Would you go to the shop still? Was there anything you particularly?
Yeah. Eventually, I would go to the shops and stuff. That was still a thing that I did. Because obviously you could do, couldn't you, originally? Or you could anyway, couldn't you? Shopping was still a thing, but most of it was online shopping. Looking back, because initially when it all happened, there was that great anxiety of like, we don't know how bad it is yet. people are dying. I don't really want to go anywhere near people. You know, so strange when I think about the queuing systems, how that was different. What was it? 5 feet back or something? What was it?
It was 10. It wouldn't have been 10 meters. It was like 2 meters.
Sorry, meters, not feet. Yeah. It's weird though, isn't it? You still see the remnants of COVID, don't you? Things like that, the screens and stuff up. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. So our fourth and last topic is about tubers. So what do you think about the rooms, like the gaming room, editing suite we have here at Tubers?
Yeah, no, they're great. I'm not sure what my favourite room is. The room that I've always found really interesting is the green screen room, because we don't use that as much, but I think we are going to, in the next few months, maybe do some more of that. I'm not sure, I can't confirm. I don't know, I think the podcast studio looks the best, doesn't it? Looks really good. Podcast studio looks really professional. But I like the editing suite, that's my favourite.
I like the look of the creator studio. That looks really good, and it also looks quite advanced because of the gadgets you've got where the computer is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love that studio.
It's just a shame you can only be a creator when you
choose
it.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame, because it would be nice, wouldn't it, if you could incorporate some of the... It would be nice if it could be like in the top 10 video challenge bit of your CrewTuber thing, you could then use it for that. But I guess I do understand why, because it's this idea of natural progression, and once you've completed CrewTubers, that could be like anywhere between a month, maybe under a month. I think one kid did it in 2 weeks, or it could be a whole year. Like everyone's different, so I understand why it's like actually you can't have it right now.
All right. Last question. What do you think about the members' behaviour here?
Well, the kids.
Yeah, the kids' behaviour. Like, say you got mini tubers. So mini tubers is like for the people under, like, what is it, 11?
11, yeah. So 7 to 11, yeah.
Yeah, 7 to 11, and then you've got the older lot that are like...
The secondary era, yeah. That's 11 to 17. The secondary kids, it's a bit more. Yeah, they're a bit more self-assured. It can be the case where they think they know more than they actually do. That can happen a lot, you know, because I guess when people get to a certain age, like they separate, they don't want to be seen as immature, they don't want to be seen as if like, you know, like I need help with everything. That you see that with kids and their parents, don't you? Like, no, I'm not a baby anymore. So I've seen that a lot with certain people in the secondary sort of bracket who do still need guidance. And all the kids do, you know, everyone does when it comes down to making video. Like, it's not just this does this does that, it's also confidence skills and knowing how, you know, just there's people before who haven't had the sort of confidence to be behind a camera, and that does take some pushing. It really does sometimes, and I don't want to push anyone, but it's nice to help someone.
Alright, thank you guys for watching our video, and we'll see you in the next one. Video out.
Yep, thanks guys.